my name is John, and I would like to just tell you a little bit about my story. I grew up in a broken home where my father wasn't present. He had left at a very young age. My mother had remarried and, was involved in an abusive lifestyle. Never had no guidance and supervision, wanted to belong growing up. Didn't know who I was. Got involved in a gang at 12 years old. I tried cocaine at 12 years old. Had a drug addiction from 12 years old, which escalated into a very unhealthy life growing up. Eventually had a family, which my decisions to be involved in my negative lifestyle of crime and drug use, I ended up going to prison and losing my family, losing my freedom, and just had no direction in life where I was going. I got out, got involved in crime and was dealing drugs. One day I was at a restaurant having lunch, and I came across a friend who I hadn't seen since high school. And he had asked me what I was doing, we were catching up, and I had lied to him and told him that I was going to college. And it wasn't a little bit after I had left the restaurant. I was driving down the road, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I just answered myself truthfully. I looked at myself and I said, "Yeah, I know what you do for a living. You ruin lives for a living." And when I looked at myself that day, I realized that who I wasn't who I wanted to be anymore. It was about a year later to where I landed to a point of just complete brokenness, of drug addiction and shame and guilt, to where I was so tired I was just ready to give up and asked for help. I went into the Mercy House not knowing what it was lied ahead, but I knew that I was tired and I was ready to give God a chance for the first time in my life. I was in the program for about 2 weeks, and it was the first time I ever prayed to God, just talking to Him. Really prayed to God for the first time with my heart. And I asked Him, "God, will you forgive me for being an unfaithful husband all those years? And will you forgive me for being a neglectful father for all those years?" And just broke down and cried that night. And when I woke up the next morning, I walked outside and I felt completely brand new. I felt like a brand new person. And the depression was gone. The 20 years of drug addiction was gone. The shame was completely gone. Everything was lifted off of me. And I knew at that moment that God was real and that He was alive inside of me. I was going through the program, and I came at a crossroads where I had to make a decision whether to leave the program early and venture out on my own, or to just trust in God entirely and to complete this program and follow through with the commitment that I gave Him. When I decided to follow through with my commitment that I gave Him, so many doors that I knew that I thought weren't there had opened up to freedom with Christ. Since I've been out of the program, my life just continues to grow in a way that I never imagined life could possibly be. My relationship with my children has been restored. In fact, it's a relationship that I never had as a father with my children. I had said when I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I decided that wasn't who I wanted to be and that I was destroying lives, I can honestly look in the mirror now and see that I'm someone who's bringing life and someone who I want to be now.